Hey, welcome back. So I have a brand new video for you today. I have something to confess. I love street photography, even after 7 years. So today I want to share a few lessons learned from me being a street photographer for 7 years. All right, let's get into it. Lesson number one, understand basic camera settings. So this is fundamental that you understand basic camera settings, also known as exposure triangle, so consisting of ISO, aperture, and shutter. It's very important that you invest your time in understanding what they mean individually and what they mean in combination. So basically, when you combine all three factors and settings, it will make your photo properly exposed. So understanding them individually is, for example, if you take ISO, if you take a photo at 10,000 ISO, you will have a lot of grain in your photo. Contra, a low ISO setting of 100 will mean a clean shot. So invest your time in understanding how they work in combination and what it means for your photo. It took me a long time to understand basic camera settings, and it wasn't until recently that I decided to invest some time in understanding the exposure triangle. Before that, I shot in aperture priority mode, which is great for a specific type of street photography, but the problem was I didn't have the basic understanding, so I kept on getting blurry photos and photos that were out of focus, and that frustrated me a lot. So now I shoot in manual mode, and this is really great because I have full control of my camera. Aperture priority mode is great for certain type of street photography, and recently I went out with my 35mm to do candid street photography, and I actually started out with manual mode, and I quickly realized that the type of photography that I was doing was a bit more fast-paced than my usual style, so I changed it to aperture priority mode, and I didn't have to worry about the settings. I only put in the aperture that I wanted, which was 2.8, and the rest the camera took care of. So there are many great things about the different semi-automatic modes, but also there are limitations, and it's important that you understand those. Be consistent, and what I mean by being consistent is to treat your photography and your photo walks as any other appointments that you might have. Keep a regular schedule, go out and practice, and thereby grow as a photographer. And it's very important, especially in the beginning, because it is hard work and a lot of effort that goes into it. A practical advice for me is to schedule and plan your photo walks, so you have to go out maybe 1 or 2 times. That would be more than enough. Lesson number 3, accept bad photos. Accept your bad photos. There's just no way around it. There's a saying in the photography community that your first 10,000 photos are your worst. And I would say that every photo that you take, you will learn and grow from. And as I also mentioned before, that quantity over quality will lead to quality over time. And what I mean by this is that take a lot of photos, which is quantity, will get you more experience and you will grow, which eventually will lead to quality. So quality over time. So apply this, go out and practice. Also lower your expectation. Don't compare yourself to somebody that you admire. They might have put in their worst 10,000 photos. So it's very important that you go out with an open mind and don't have a lot of expectations, and also don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Lesson number 4, be present. So sometimes on photo walks or photo shoots, you might tend to rush through things. And when you feel that you're rushing through things, you might miss good opportunities. And also when you feel that it's time to slow down and observe your surroundings a bit more. It happens to me a few times that I rush through things, and I actually made my photography a little bit of a chore, and that really demotivated me. And actually it had the consequence that I didn't want to pick up my camera because I felt so demotivated. A simple trick that made it work for me was that I kept an open mind. So every time that I go out, I have an open mind. I don't have any expectations of coming home with great photos, and that actually takes off a lot of pressure for me. So I always have one underlying goal, that I have to come back with one photo, and if not, then I had the exercise of the day. And also lower your expectation. Don't put so much pressure on yourself by comparing yourself to others, for example on social media, or somebody that you admire. They might already have put in their worst 10,000 photos. So it's very important that you go out with an open mind and really explore and try to grow as a photographer. Lesson number 5, keep it simple. Keep it simple in 2 different ways. Only bring gear on photo walks that you need, and don't bring 3 lenses for one photo walk and overcomplicate things. Before you go out, plan and decide what kind of street photography you want to do, and then pick your camera and the lens. Stick to that plan. The second way of keeping things simple is to only buy gear that you need. And especially as a beginner, or if you are a less experienced photographer, we tend to believe that expensive camera gear will make us better photographers. This is far from the truth. It's all about investing in the right gear at the right time and when you're ready. And you know when you're ready, when you outgrown the current camera you've been practicing on for 3, 4, 5 years. And then make the investment, and also you will have a better understanding of the type of street photography you do and what you like. Lesson number 6, invest in yourself. So every time you pick up a camera and go out on photo walks or try to understand photography, let's say understanding basic camera settings, you are investing in yourself. And when you're investing in yourself, you're also elevating your baseline. So it's very important that you keep elevating your baseline and go out and practice. And every time you're out on the streets and doing a photo walk, try to maximize your effort. And what do I mean by maximizing your effort is to don't do anything that you don't want to do, or you do it incomplete or half-hearted. Put in the maximum effort that you are capable of. And once you do that, you will also elevate your baseline that I talked about. And how do you maximize your effort? You do that by challenging yourself. It doesn't have to be big challenges, and you don't have to take big leaps. For example, myself, I have a challenge that I wanted to get closer to my subjects. Because I love my 85mm, I'm very comfortable on standing a bit further away. And what I want for myself is to be able to get closer to my subjects and get those intimate, candid photos. So that way I'm maximizing my effort. Lesson number 7, remember your why. As anything in life, from time to time, we have to remember why we do what we do. This goes for photography as well. There might be times where we feel demotivated and don't want to go out and take photos, or we are just busy in our everyday life, which is perfectly fine. We go through photography circles a lot, and it's just important to remember your why end of the day. Personally, for me, I have to remember my why. Sometimes when I'm feeling demotivated or don't want to go out and take photos, or simply don't have time for it, I have to remember why I like to take photos. And if I look back 2-3 years, I can really see how much I've grown, and that really motivates me next time I'm out on the streets. Another why for me is that it's a creative outlet for me, and I also like the educational part of it. And I feel like I have a lot of experience that I can share with people, especially beginners. That's why I also started this YouTube channel. And also I work in a corporate setting, and sometimes going out with a camera, a late night, it gives me a break from that. So it's important to remember your why from time to time. That was my 7 lessons learned from being a street photographer for 7 years. So I hope some of the lessons resonated and you feel inspired. Here's to the next 7 years. Cheers. Take care and see you in the next one.